So let's look at Autoroute 1. What happened during the last 7 days? This is last week. Did we see that? When was it committed? I don't know what it means. 9 a.m. for me. So let's say it was done. Then, yes, we talked about it, remember. Jim McDonald, fixing project manager can return duplicate results. We saw that also it was merged before. Then on Thursday, we merged some other PRs. Packaging, fixing, not trying to install a package that doesn't exist should display a relevant error notification. Okay, better error message instead of an exception. This is for 110x. Packaging code styling in package installer and package manager code styling. Okay. Add button to select all items in the media library. Why would you do that? Why would you select all the media items? But you can.
I don't know, why wouldn't you? I think you approved the PR, by the way.
Yeah, if you want to do it, then you can. Fine by me. It's too dangerous. Yeah. Code styling in media library. Okay, that's some value. It should be faster after that.
No, but it.
What do you know? Why do you know?
But at least you won't get, I don't know how many, little red dots in Visual Studio, which hurts your eyes. So
close the file, it won't complain. Oh, there is an option in actually there is an option in Visual Studio. Maybe you didn't check that it should not analyze the files that are not open, like the JavaScript files. Yeah, otherwise it's a nightmare.
Oh no, I mean what you have next to the scroll bar, which tells you about the errors in the current document. It's a little map on the side. I don't know how it's called. Okay. Anyway.
Media library updating selector logic to also enable select none. Okay. So we don't generate the minified files for these, apparently.
No, actually, it's nice that you mentioned that we don't. So even for example, CSS files in workflows that we were looking at recently, no, there are no minified versions. But
I should. Yeah, we have the goal pipeline, but we don't include them in the goal pipeline. That must be it. Okay.
Yeah, but actually, it would be nice if we had a better way of writing scripts and styles even built in. So we might do it for, I don't know, 1.11.1 to kind of refactor a couple of stuff. That would be nice.
But we have it. There is the assets.json file.
Yeah, well, then it's easier. Yeah.
Look at it. You just need to put that in an assets.json file, and then you will get the minified file. And in the resource.
Oh yeah, it generates automatically. Yeah.
So okay. That's what. Yeah. Okay. Fix of the fix maybe. Visibility bound to having at least one item. Okay. Yeah. So only if you select. Well.
So it's these are incremental improvements basically. You won't see the select all button if the folder is empty.
Okay.
Basically.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Adding indices to CommonPart. Okay, so this one for performance. So this is on the create.
Yeah, and also in the update.
Okay. And
update from 5 or whatever.
Okay. So this is good for ordering. Okay. CommonPart created, publish. Oh, because okay, these 4 fields are in a custom table. Owner, container. Okay, interesting. Autoroute migration, consolidate update from 4 changes, blah blah. Yeah, so refactoring the upgrade process. Good.
Yeah, I also did other code styling and a bit of simplifications here and there.
Okay, then dev branch, extending automatic workflow CSS discovery with caching. So now you cached it. This is from feedback from last week.
Yes.
If I remove that and I look at this, there is cache manager, and in the cache manager somewhere there should be something here. Get context. Okay, and here you build it. Okay, good job. Then workaround foundation blog rename bug. You copy and then you copy again.
Yeah, it takes some time in debug with 100 items or something like that, so it's a pity that you need to do it twice basically, but haven't really found a better way to do this, unfortunately. It's also not a very good sign that the GitHub repository where we reported this for the Azure SDK, I think the last comment ever posted by a contributor was almost a month ago.
Okay.
But, you know, I don't know. Maybe they will fix it. And then we can upgrade and remove this. I already created separate issues to remove the workaround if the fix is added to Azure SDK.
Okay. But if I tell you why, then it won't happen. So I won't tell you anything.
Interesting.
I hope somebody got the joke. Okay. Question 4.1. Is there any chance to add output cache to a custom web API controller? This is funny because then it will not be output cache. It will be response cache. Because whenever in the ASP.NET Core team I say we need to improve the response cache to do that and that and that because otherwise it's useless, they tell me, well, but then it's not response cache, it's output cache. So response caching is for web APIs based on the cache headers that you have on the HTTP request. This is how all the .NET Core works with the response caching package. And output cache is to cache the HTML output of an endpoint, which is not a web API and doesn't require response caching headers, but is based on generic settings like cache anything for 10 minutes, even though the controller didn't say it's cacheable by an intermediate. So what you want is response caching, which is in .NET Core. And what .NET Core needs is output cache, which is still in Orchard 1. And when I say .NET Core, not just Orchard Core, .NET Core, ASP.NET Core needs an output cache module, like we have in Orchard 1. So yeah, good luck with that. You can do it by yourself by porting the code from .NET Core to full framework and making a package, but I don't think most people will need it. So you'd better just migrate to Orchard Core, which has the response. Well, in the latest branch I removed it. Yeah, it's funny because in 3.0 previews they broke the extensibility points of response caching, which makes it completely unusable in Autoroute because it will cache even the authenticated request. I don't understand why he did that. Stupid reasons.
That's really dangerous.
Well, I mean, the reasons are completely bullshit, and so it's like, forget about it. So I removed the module in the 3.0 branch that Jean-Thierry made to port Autoroute Core to 3.0. And so I think the only now solution we'll have is to actually implement output caching. Even response cache won't be there. Or you will have to do it by yourself and configuring what you want with the response cache package. There won't be any module because there won't be any value to create a module for response cache. But we'll need an output cache module in Autoroute Core. Definitely. Even though it's fast, it can be even faster with output caching. We already have donut caching and fragment caching in Autoroute Core for shapes and also fragments in HTML. We have a module for that. It's just integrated even better with shapes because it's static, but we don't have the full page cache. Yeah. Okay. Okay, done with Autoroute 1. Then, Sotiris, do you have a demo? Do you have a demo? I need the music for when people are writing because we are waiting. Shh. Okay, good. Let us know. Then, Michael, I assume you have like 10 demos to do? If not more, because there were so many PRs, so many features. Yeah, you can do that. And I don't know, we can also talk about Twitter, Facebook. I assume they were merged, these ones. Maybe there are other ones I forgot to merge. And the rest, I don't know if there is any demo. Just let me know. Jasmine will be happy to demo how to set cultures and how it works. If he knows, still, not sure he knows anymore. Okay, Autoroute Core status. This is already updated here. Not as much activity on this one, probably because of my inactivity on merging PRs. But last Thursday when we did triage, we spent most of the time talking to the long big guys, so we could not work really. And that's the status now. So this is where I left last week. What was I doing? Oh yes, I was trying to display a message so we know when the application is started, because in preview, in 3.0 preview, whatever, nothing is displayed anymore, so you don't know where the site is listening and when it's ready. It's weird. You think it's broken, but no, it's just running, but you just don't know where. Okay, disable bulk action button if we have less than 2 items selected. Okay, good job. Yeah, because now there is a bulk menu. Rebuild TheAdmin JS with bootstrap. You have lots of issue with that. Again, fix PortableObjectLocalizer.GetAllStrings, so it was not taking into consideration of the parameters that you might not want to inherit from all the parent cultures. So the localizer is now fixed by Hisham with some tests. The only issue with Hisham's test is that he's using Arabic, and I have no idea which one is right and which one is wrong. I have to look at little drawings to, okay, this one looks like this one, so yeah, that's the issue. It's hard to understand what should be the expected values or not. Then this one fixes GraphQL where statements don't work for content items. So some issues with GraphQL when you try to do some queries. In this case, it was a table prefix issue. Some queries didn't take into account the table prefix, so Carl fixed it and added some unit tests. Beautiful. And I'm sure the unit tests were longer to implement than the fix. GraphQL awaitable filters, there is an extensibility point as in iGraphQL filter if you want to intercept any query before and after the query was done. And now they are async. Fixes content item ID filter for the single ID. Yeah, so Lucas fixed an incorrect call to fluid. This is a correct thing to do. GraphQL fixes where case sensitivity issues in Postgres. Postgres is case sensitive, and in this case, because there was a mapping between the content item index property and the field, in GraphQL we are lowercasing the first, you see, like this, the first char of a property. And then it was mapped to the table, but the table could not find the correct field. So now it's done by creating a cache of all the properties in content item index and a lookup table from any name to the actual name. So that's done by Carl also. Then Dean, update text field predefined list editor setting to align radio. There was a glitch with the new bootstrap, so he fixed the table for the predefined values in the text field editor. Contextualize TemplateContext with the default IServiceManager. I show my service provider. Typo in the title. Just some liquid templates when they were rendered didn't have access to this property, which is necessary for some filters. So now he's adding it where it was required. Bertrand made a pull request to provide some setting file for Visual Studio so that when you open Orchard, Visual Studio will find this file and try to install these components if they are not. So this is a way to let you know or to update Visual Studio based on the project you are loading because it requires some Visual Studio extensions. I will try that file on my machine because I expect to not require any extra modules than the ones I already have. Doesn't mean that I don't have too much, but at least I did a simple Visual Studio install without all the components, so I should not require anything else. If something else tries to install, I think we should remove it because it means we don't need that, so why install it? Yeah, for instance, I don't know why we need the full framework, SDKs, or things like this. Maybe these are just dependencies on some things, we'll see. I will try that. Or if someone wants to try also to say, well, I can, if you can develop with Orchard without any issue with all the pipelines and the tooling, but it asks you to install something, I assume this something is unnecessary and we can remove from the list. Tab support for admin, content edit. So I merged this one super big up here from Dean, which enables, like one, the tabs in the editors. So when you create a driver, is there an example here? I don't see one. When you create a driver with a placement, you can use the hash like this. No, this is a tab. Is it the at or the hash? I don't remember. I will say hash because that must be the zone. That would be good to have an example or to look at the logic. No, it wasn't somewhere else. Yeah, so you can define in a placement what is the zone, the tab where you want the shapes to be rendered in. So we have tabs now. The next step is to fix the localization of these tabs. But that's part of another PR. add sender, so it was missing the sender in the mail message. Improve the doc of OpenID module from ND. And then fixing a regression that the links to content types will not be selected in the menu. So that's good. Then what did we say? And we said that Michael wanted to do a demo of the new, of what? Oh, the spa. Yeah, there is a PR for the spa, and I want to understand also. Any comment on that? What kind of comment should we do? I can give you all the comments. Instead of system.json, what is system.json? There is no such thing as system.json. So it's not replacing it because there was no such thing. Yeah. So yes, we are using in our shellcore Newtonsoft.Json. The .NET team made a new library. The .NET Core team made a new library called system.text.json. This one. So the goal of this new library is to replace Newtonsoft.Json. Not that Newtonsoft.Json is bad, it's the best, but because it's a third-party package that MVC depends on heavily. And the issue in .NET Core 3.0 is that there is the notion of a shared runtime, which is that when you install the SDK of the .NET Core, it will also install NetCore app, which is the runtime, the CoreFX and the Core CLR. And also in another folder, it will install ASP.NET. So it will be part of the machine when you install the SDK. The goal is that when you deploy an app, you won't have to deploy anything. You just say, I need ASP.NET in your project, and it will just upload your DLL. Nothing else will have to be uploaded because if the machine contains the NetCore, it will have all the ASP.NET libraries. Okay. The issue is that the SDK will ship ASP.NET, and if it relies on that, it will have to ship Newtonsoft.Json. And the goal here is that everything that is shipped is only owned by Microsoft. So what they did is they built system.json with all the features that the components in .NET Core require, including MVC. So it has many features, not all the features of Newtonsoft.Json, but it supports all the features necessary required for MVC. And this is what MVC now is using by default in NetCore 3. But for us, we still need Newtonsoft.Json because there are features in Newtonsoft.Json that are required by our core. The main one being the fact that it has an abstraction of the document with JTokens like JValue, JString, JArray, and so on that we use to represent a content item internally as an abstract structure. So we use the JSON document abstract syntax tree from JSON.NET that is not available in system.json. Okay, we can't build or manipulate. We could build dynamically a document with system.json, but we can't manipulate it as easily as with the things in Newtonsoft.Json. In terms of performance, system.json is a little bit faster than Newtonsoft, but not that much. So we are very fine with that. And most of the time, if you still create a web API or an MVC controller and you just return a JSON payload, it will use system.json. Maybe not in our core because I'm not sure. We'll see if we call actually the add Newtonsoft MVC or something like that. There is an extension method to actually use Newtonsoft.Json in MVC instead of this one, but I don't think we do it in the 3.0 branch, so we should be able to use that. But it's transparent for us. We explicitly require that to manipulate the content items JObject directly. So that's all the comments for that. You know everything about system text.json. Michael, I will make you presenter if you want to show us the spa PR you made. And don't speak Greek, only one guy can understand. Okay. You can speak French because we'll be 3 to understand. 4, oh my god, 4, we win. But English will be better because everyone should be able to understand.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I will show an easy way to integrate a single-page application into Orchard Core and have all the backend of Orchard Core.
Okay. Then I will have 20 questions and Jasmine will have 50 questions.
Okay. I have created some client applications based on the .NET New template, like this one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I can't see anything. Why is that?
Oh,
you are not sharing. You should share.
Does it share?
I don't see anything. I will stop sharing just to see if it's that prevents you, but I don't think so. Try again.
It's connecting.
Yep, okay. It should come soon now. I can see that you shared. It works, thank you. Counter, what an ugly template, but okay.
Okay. Is it, do you have screen?
Yeah, we can see everything, beautiful.
Okay, very good. Okay, I have created a recipe in order to easily set up an application. This site view is based on this recipe. So it creates a route that is based, it ways to share an index.html static file or create a template. Let me show you. Okay, there are two options. One is to declare a static file, or the other one is to create a template to initiate the single-page application. It creates under the site a folder SPA where you will copy the files. Okay, this one is based on the view template, is based on the template, not an index file. So I will copy the liquid template. And create a layout spa template. Of course, I must not use a static HTML file. So we have the view client application, which is integrated with the push state of HTML5. And also we can access all the Orchard Core functionality. We can also we can also integrate data from a customer module. I updated the demo with a custom web API that shows the temperatures for the default template of the .NET New. So if I enable the demo module, it will consume the data from the backend of Orchard.
So is it similar to the decoupled recipe, but it won't use Razor but a static file? So I assume it's similar. So there is no theme.
No, there is no theme. It's the static page application that is displayed.
Why did you call it layout_spa then? Why not? Why does it have to be a layout, or why not just like index_spa.liquid, like not a layout file, but one file like index?
I thought a good idea to declare it from the admin.
Yes, but you can create a shape called index. You don't have to call it layout. That's.
Okay. I'm not very familiar with the get shapes, etc.
Okay. Because that looks weird to me to say this is the entry point, this is a single file, but it's called a layout, because no other file will look for a layout. And also there is no theming, so why call it a layout with a shape if there is no theming? That's weird. I would have called it.
Yes, I see. I saw it from the Orchard code users that use this.
But it's a trick, and this is using the theming. This is a trick to be able to switch between the front-end theme and the admin theme dynamically based on the setting. This is different. So yeah, I can look at the PR and see what. I just wanted to know, because if it's a technical, you didn't know, I will try to see what we can change for that.
Okay. Also, I have created another demo client app that logins to the backend with OpenID.
Wow.
So here. I have created an OpenID application, and from here I can log in. Okay, now let me log out first. I can log in either with the external provider that this site has, or OpenID authorization server. And then I could consume an API from the backend.
Yeah, and GraphQL, for instance. So that's nice. So the idea, is to create a SPA application, but which is hosted by the Orchard application that also manages the content. So you just have one thing to deploy for the backend and the front end.
Yes.
Okay.
You will only have to copy the output of the single page application to the SPA folder under the site.
Okay. Interesting. I like it. And the demo with the authentication also makes sense, because that's what the single page app will want to do for the next level to consume the data.
Yes, of course.
Then that's a single page app. I was about to say, but if it's hosted in the same app, we could do it server side and load the content, but that's not the goal here. It's really a client side app. So interesting.
Yes, the goal is just to deploy the client side app on the site that the backend is deployed. with an easy way.
I see. So you made a recipe in your PR, so we could have a SPA recipe. Should we have a recipe that does a full SPA application to display content and everything, so people could? It's an empty recipe. So the recipe you made in your PR, we still have to create an app and to move it to the folder.
Okay.
But,
Sure.
no, I mean that's okay. I'm just thinking out loud. What should we do? Should we? Because we have an empty recipe that is empty and does nothing. Should we have the headless recipe? Maybe we should have empty recipes like this within the spine. Maybe I don't know if it's documentation. I think we will want to see an actual app with all the features and the modules. Maybe that's just a different tutorial we need to do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I'm sure some people will like it. All the guys who want to do SPA applications. Interesting. Okay, well done. Thank you very much. I want to see people try that now. Okay. That was a good demo. Then, what else? Does anyone have demos also? So Thierry said he was working on a new site. I don't see anyone here with new sites since last time. Okay, cool. I don't have any new site. I'm not sure we have news for everything. Does anyone have questions, topics you want to talk about? No questions, no topics. That's good. Okay, then we'll see for the PRs on Thursday. I hope we can review more PRs than last week's. I've merged big ones like Dean's ones, Dean's one PR from Dean for the tabs. There are more big PRs like this we need to merge, but I hope Thursday we can focus on that. Give review or unblock PRs at least, if not merge them. System language, what do you mean? Go, Michael. I muted you. Please unmute yourself if you want to talk or just type.
Yes, I was thinking about the synchronization of the external roles with the local roles. The big authentication picture. I think that we could create a JavaScript a script that we could call on the authentication of external provider and map the roles from the external provider to local roles. So we will always have local users with roles and permissions in Orchard Core. But when we authenticate through Azure AD, for example, and we give application roles, we could easily map those roles to the roles defined in Orchard Core. I am working on a PR.
But why JavaScript? Because JavaScript means it will execute from the user's perspective. So the user will have...
No, with the script manager.
The script managers.
Yes.
What is the script manager?
With the Sprima from Orchard Core. Do you want me to show?
The script manager, like, well, I don't know what you mean. You can share it.
That we're using the workflows.
Okay. But okay, but server side then. I see. So when you say JavaScript, yes, I know. I wrote it. Okay, I get it. Gint. That's why you said Esprima. Okay, so So you will create a script. Oh, I see. So it will be in the workflow, you mean?
Not in the workflow, but
Okay.
when we get the token from the external provider, we could see a setting that we need to synchronize the roles from the external one.
Does it have to be some JavaScript, or should it be just per provider some logic in C# that knows?
I think that from C#, from the account controller, we could call this JavaScript with provider and the token we receive.
If you say JavaScript, I think that you mean that users can change the script. The admins can change the script. Why would I change the script? Does it make sense to change the script?
Because I am an administrator of an enterprise and I have created an application in Azure AD and I define custom roles. So I need to map those roles.
Okay.
With,
okay. Because of the mapping, you want to configure the mapping of the roles. Okay.
To be flexible, yes.
I get it. Okay. And you could provide a default script, but users will change it.
Yes. Something like that with the code mirror editor.
Yeah, even if it's some comment sample JavaScript, like, oh, here is an example of how you could map something, change the sample to what you want. I see.
Yes.
Okay.
But the users will always be in our factor because we said that we might not have local users.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you can try that.
Okay.
And we have the question from Sotiris. Question as default language. Yes, we are refactoring it. It will be better. The idea is, yeah, there was lots of discussion last week about the localization and default culture and the supported culture. The simple idea is that when you set up a site now, the setting will be defined to the current machine's culture, so to the server's culture, and we'll call it the default culture. So on my machine, if I set up Orchard, the default culture will be English. But if Jasmin, Jean-Philippe install Orchard, they will have they will have the Canadian culture, or on a Mac, the invariant culture. But it will be set during setup. This will default to the system's culture. And then you will be able to change the supported culture. The default culture that was defined during setup will be a supported culture, but you can add new supported cultures, as many as you want, and change which one is the default one. So it will always be a static value, like a deterministic value. It won't be taken from wherever I run, dynamically changing. No, it will be set once and for all as a setting. And then you can manage these. That will be much simpler. Yep. Okay. That's it. Good. Thank you, Michael, for all of these. Everyone else for joining. See you on Thursday for the triage or next Tuesday. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.